Oh. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hari Om and good evening. Welcome to Human to Hanuman Part 2. In the Katha Upanishad, there is a young boy named Nachiketa who's having a dialogue with Lord Yama, the god of death. And Lord Yama has offered Nachiketa 3 boons, 3 wishes which will be fulfilled. And Nachiketa, with his final wish, his most important boon, asks for the truth, asks for happiness. And Lord Yama tries to dissuade him from this by saying, I can give you singers, I can give you dancers, and he's going on and on describing all of the pleasure, possessions, position that this young boy can have. And Nachiketa responds to the god of death saying, you keep your song and dance to yourself, just give me the truth, independent joy. The word Nachiketa, na-chi, the one who doesn't collect, the one who doesn't get distracted by that which is not fundamental, that which is not happiness. Na-chi. The word vichara has a similar meaning. Vich means to filter. Filter out what's not important, filter in what is important. Vich is to not collect that which is not fundamental, to not be distracted by any pursuit lower than peace. Vichara Gurukula is a family that is guiding each other to that which is most important. And we are guiding each other through Human to Hanuman Part 2. The cause pervades the effect. The table upon which my laptop is, this is made up of wood. Though shaped like a table, since this is made up of wood, the flammability of a tree is carried over to this particular form, this particular name. Agreed? The cause pervades the effect. We are an effect. Who is our cause? We say our parents. Who is their cause? Their parents. And you go on and on until you have to admit that there is an original parent, the uncaused cause. And in the language of devotion, we call this presence Bhagwan, God. And the nature of Bhagwan is to be virtuous, independently joyous, ever disciplined, and on and on and on. If the cause has this nature, so does the effect. You, I, us. We just have to find this potential. And we're doing this not by being extrovert, but by being inward looking. We are not humans. Outwardly we may be, but inwardly we are Hanuman. We are God, we are Bhagwan. And that is the vision of this workshop. I was walking by a bicycle store some time back, and I saw one of the most powerful signs I've ever seen. And the sign said, "Does your kid have $100 feet and a $10 head?" $100 feet and a $10 head. And what this sign was essentially sharing is we spend so much money on shoes, correct? And $100 is cheap. And we hesitate. We think twice about buying a helmet for a kid who's learning how to ride a bike. Anyone who's riding on the road to have a helmet. No. It seems like a very backwards prioritization. When one first is introduced to Hanumanji, even Goswamiji, Hanumanji is living well. He's living with Sugriva, who is a important person. And Goswamiji is living with his wife, and he's enjoying being married, particularly the pleasures of marriage. Slowly, steadily, sincerely, Hanumanji changes. He wants the divine life, and so he starts to live for Bhagwan Rama. Goswamiji also, he slowly, steadily, sincerely changes. He starts to live for Bhagwan Rama. That doesn't mean he neglects his wife, but he knows that if he lives for happiness, he'll be able to provide for his wife that which is most important. Both of them are evolvers, which is why we're studying Hanuman Chalisa, written by Goswamiji. And this study begins with our opening prayers, the dohas, doha 1, doha 2. And what we explored with this, if we want to grow, we need role models. For one to grow in a meaningful way, one has to have a guide. And both of these dohas share that. Goswamiji is a role model, Hanumanji is a role model, Bhagwan Rama is a role model. This is why we're here right now, together, to grow, and we have guidance with this. We studied Chopai 21. In part 2, we studied Chopai 21. Hanumanji is a unique guard in that he's greeting people to come into where Bhagwan Rama is, and he's guarding them from leaving. What he's showing us is that the greatest reward is being with Bhagwan Rama, is being independently joyous. This is the greatest, and since this is the greatest reward, there must be the greatest demand to gain this reward, to experience this reward. Our sadhana for Chopai 21 is earn. Earn this greatest reward by demanding this from yourself. In Chopai 22, we had studied how Hanumanji is ever at the feet of Bhagwan Rama, and if we are at the feet of Hanumanji, that means we would be at the feet of Bhagwan Rama also. This is surrender. We are surrendering our smallness to Hanumanji, who surrendered to Bhagwan Rama. Another word for Bhagwan Rama is Brahman, that which is big, that which is infinite. When the finite surrenders to the infinite, the finite becomes the infinite. That is most logical, most meaningful. And the sadhana for Chopai 22 is develop. Develop yourself, develop what you're doing, develop where you're going. In 23, we studied how only Hanumanji can control Hanumanji. Only Hanumanji can direct Hanumanji. I'm taking this to another scriptural reference. Raja Dasharatha and Mother Kaushalya had engaged in disciplines. They were praying to God, Bhagwan Vishnu, to have Bhagwan Vishnu be their child, to have a child like God. And Bhagwan Vishnu said, Tatastu, so be it. And as he was thinking about who is like him, he realized that nobody is like him, and that if they want a child like God, that he has to become their child. You can compare finite numbers, you cannot compare that which is infinite. So Bhagwan Vishnu became Bhagwan Rama. In the same way, only Hanumanji can control Hanumanji. And for us, what we learn from this Chaupai is to be the most responsible person for ourselves when it comes to the sorrows in our lives and the joy in our lives. If there's sorrow in our lives, we are responsible for that. If there's joy in our life, we are responsible for that. A sadhaka, a seeker, is one who does not complain, does not blame. And our sadhana for 23 is focus. Focus on the joys and sorrows in your lives and realize you're responsible for that. Where is the grass the greenest? Where you water it. That's how a responsible person lives. You're all going to come up with some sort of answer, right? And then I told you it's where you water it. In Chaupai 24, we had shared how there are many demons, asuras, that Hanumanji came across. And we studied their symbolism. The real demons in our lives are vices. When there are inner enemies like greed, jealousy, confusion, then we project the same outwardly. And we have outer enemies then. Thinking more about this Chaupai, in Sanatana Dharma, when you go to a mandir, what do you typically hear? You hear bells, right? A lot of these bells are made up of special metals in a special combination. And the thought process is that the energy created from ringing this bell dispels or impedes negative energies from coming. That's why in our larger mandirs we have massive bells, because lots of people come there to push away that energy. And now you're all thinking, that sounds really fluffy. What polite word to use for that? Sounds fluffy. I've observed with our son Vyasa that when he stays in homes or is with people who are more calm and quiet, he is more calm and quiet. And in homes where there's less calmness or quietude, or in the head or heart of a person that is less calm or quiet, he is. He's not been educated in a worldly way to think of profit or to think of popularity. He has that sensitivity, and I've observed this very clearly. So the idea that there's not energies, that this is fluffy, that's not true. When we ring a bell, the speed of sound is in effect. Hanumanji moves at the speed of light. That's why he's known as Vajra Angi. Vajra means lightning bolt. That when we call to Hanumanji in the speed of light, he will be there. The sadhana for Chaupai 24 is protect. protect yourself. By protecting yourself, you can protect others. You can only share what you have. Earn, develop, focus, protect. We continue. We're on Chaupai 25. Leading up to this, let us once again chant our dohas together. Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja Nijamana Mukuru Sudhari Baranau Raghuvara Vimala Jasu Jodaya Kupalachari Buddhihina Tanujanike Sumirau Pavana Kumara Balabuddhi Vidya Dehu Mohi Harahu Kalesa Vikara. Chaupai 25. Nase roga hare sabapira japata nirantara hanumata vira. Nashe, destroying, roga, disease, hare sabapira, and stealing all pain and suffering. How? Japata nirantara, by constant chanting, remembrance of Hanumata Vira, the great Hanumanji. This is what we're doing right now. From a Pauranic perspective, what is the episode in Hanumanji's life that connects to this verse? When Hanumanji meets Mother Sita in Lanka, he sees that she's looking at her, her feet, and she's remembering Bhagwan Rama's feet, and she looks most sad. And this makes Hanumanji most sad too. But when Hanumanji gives Mother Sita Bhagwan Rama's ring, she becomes most content. And Hanumanji becomes most content too. That pain and suffering was alleviated by Hanumanji. When Sri Lakshmana had fainted, he was essentially in a coma, and the analysis is that Sri Lakshmana is going to die. Then imagine what Bhagwan Rama would have felt, and so what Hanumanji would have felt. And when the thought came that there is a cure to Sri Lakshmana's illness, Hanumanji didn't wait, he just left. And he didn't wait to find a particular entity, he brought all in a most efficient way. And Sri Lakshmana came back to life, and Bhagwan Rama came back to life too. That suffering and pain was alleviated. I'm giving you one more instance of this. When Sri Bharata had returned to Ayodhya, he told Bhagwan Rama that if you don't return in 14 years, then there's no point in me living because I know you're not going to return. And after having defeated Ravana, Bhagwan Rama would not have made it to Lanka on that particular date. So he was feeling very dejected, saddened at the thought of Sri Bharata being so pained. And Hanumanji took off and told Sri Bharata that Bhagwan Rama is on his way home. And that suffering and pain of Sri Bharata, that his Rama is not coming home, that was alleviated too. Lots relating to this particular Chaupai. From a adhyatmic level, a subjective perspective, the word for suffering is Adi. Suffering here is at the mind level. And the word for pain is Vyadhi. And this is at a body level. We've all heard the saying, pain is mandatory, suffering is optional. There is going to be, pain in our lives. When it's too hot, it's painful. When it's too cold, it's painful. When you get into a shower in a big home and you turn it on, that's painful. because that hot water doesn't come for a long time. And if you're in a rush, it's even more painful. There's going to be pain in our lives. Suffering is up to us. That adhi is our choice. Taking this to the most subjective level, the word roga is used. Roga means disease, and the most significant disease that we all suffer from is called bhava roga, or the disease of becoming. We're always trying to become this, become that. And what this looks like is comparing, isn't it? I compare your home, your car, your school, the way you carry yourself. There's so much comparing, and then I want to become that. And we become totally unnatural. And this goes on and on and on. Comparing leads to jealousy. Jealousy leads to insecurity. One who's insecure is perpetually suffering. That is the roga. And if we think of the pira or pida, the greatest pida, the most subjective pida, is purposelessness. When one doesn't have a purpose, they are living in pain. For people who sleep in and keep sleeping in, that is painful because they don't have a purpose to get out of that bed and shower and face the world. So don't just take pain as someone who has a cough, or my back hurts from lifting too much soil as I'm gardening. The real subjective disease is becoming, and the real subjective pain is purposelessness. And both of these can be alleviated by japa. Japata nirantara. Japa means to chant. And whatever your mouth is doing, there's a propensity for your mind to be doing the same. This is why in our tradition, we practice mauna. When my mouth is closed, that's I'm not speaking unnecessarily, it helps my mind to be open because there's a relationship there. Japa is to chant. What I'm chanting about, I start to think about. And as I think, so I develop. In a more metaphysical perspective, japa means janma pati. Janma means to be born, and pati means to protect. To protect oneself from being born again. How? Through japa. And this is not a sadistic perspective. When we are born into limitation. And not being born means we're not born into limitation. That is enlightenment. In Sanskrit, the word is nirvana, which means to blow out the ego. Once that ego is blown out, then one is not born again. One is free. How? By japa. The sadhana for Chopai 25 is dedicate. Dedicate. When dedication comes into our lives, sacrifice is natural. And the sacrifice here is of the pain and suffering. I'm not concerned with the pain and suffering because I am focused on what I'm dedicated towards. Right? For a young mother who has to feed her child, then yes, she, he are sleepy, but it's a very enlivening sleepiness. It's not like jet lag. It's a different texture of sleepiness because they're dedicated. Chopai 26. Sankatate Hanuman chudave manakrama bachana dhyana jolave. Sankata, that is being stuck. Te Hanuman churave. My stuckness can be stolen, chorave, like chore, by Hanumanji. How? Manakrama, mind and body, bachana, and words, dhyana jo lave, when they're applied, only then can this stuckness go away. Can Hanumanji come in, take whatever is holding us, he can free us from that. That's the literal meaning. We go to the Puranic perspective. When Sugriva is first introduced in Ramayana, what is he doing? He's anxious. His brother Vali is trying to kill him. Kill him in a wrong way, in the sense that it's not a justified action. But Vali can't come to where Sugriva is. He found this place, this mountain where Vali can't come, but he's run around the whole world again and again and again from Vali. And finally he found a place where he doesn't have to run, but Vali is smart. He is sending assassins to kill Sugriva. So he's anxious. He thinks that person's an assassin, this person's an assassin, that bird, that mouse is an assassin. He's running, he's running, he's running. Until Hanumanji introduces Bhagwan Rama to Sugriva, and that being stuck, he is freed from that. And there's another part where when Sugriva is now the king of the monkeys, because Vali is no longer in the equation, it's the rainy season. It's called Chaturmasya, and Bhagwan Rama is outside of Sugriva's kingdom. Sugriva has not been king for so long, so Bhagwan Rama tells Sugriva, enjoy. Enjoy with your wife, enjoy with your family. And he does. And he does, and he does, and he forgets that he still has to help Bhagwan Rama the way Bhagwan Rama has helped him. During this period of indulgence, what is Hanumanji doing? He's already initiated the work that Sugriva is to do. He sent out messengers to call the monkeys. He's even told Sugriva that Shri Lakshmana is coming to remind you. What a minister Hanumanji is to the king Sugriva. Again, Sugriva could have been in Sangata, but Hanumanji saved him from being stuck. To an adhyatmic level, how does this relate to you and I? The word kata means challenge. And all of us are going to go through kata in what we do. Driving long distances or commuting to work, that's a kata, that's a challenge. And growing old, your metabolism slows down. That's also a kata. So that we will go through. Sankata is when that challenge devolves into a problem. And that challenge becomes a problem. And who's created that problem? We have through being ayukta. Ayukta is when our mind does one thing and our words do another and our body does another. There's no integration. And another word for ayukta is adharma. That which is disintegrating. That which is disintegrated. So sankata is ayukta. And the way to uncreate this, because we've created that problem. How do you uncreate this problem? And we already studied that a seeker is most responsible. They do not complain, they do not blame. If there's stress in their lives, they know they created it, they have to uncreate it. If there's problems in their lives, they know they created it, they have to uncreate it. And that is done by bringing our mind and our mouth and our body together. We say thoughts, words, and deeds are aligned. Gandhiji has said, happiness is when one's thoughts, words, and deeds are in harmony. They're working together rather than in opposing ways. And to give this to you in a visual, Imagine you have your foot on the brake because you've turned your car on, you want to put it in reverse, and you put your foot on the accelerator. So your car's not going anywhere, but you're wasting fuel, correct? You're wearing down that car. That's what we live by too. Our intellect says, go to sleep on time. Our mind said, but there's new shows on Netflix. And our body has a tendency to give in to the mind. And then in the morning, the intellect says, you should get up and exercise. The mind says, exercise is, for those people who are too sattvic. They have problems also. And the body's sleeping, so it doesn't know what the intellect or mind is saying. That's sankata. That's being stuck. And a very important word here is dhyana. Dhyana comes from the base dhyaihi. Dhyaihi means to remember. This is where the word nidhi dhyasana comes from. Nitaram dhyaihi, to perpetually remember. That's what contemplation is, not just half an hour in a room. So this chopai is actually teaching us that we should be ever remembering, be ever in contemplation of Hanumanji. Then there will be no problems in our lives. There will only be challenges. Living is very enjoyable then. Everything is making you stronger. You stop being paranoid that God doesn't like me or this person's doing this to me. The sadhana for Chopai 26 is remember. Remember. Chopai 27. Sabapararama tapasvi raja tinake kaja sakala tumasaja. Sabapara Rama Tapasvi Raja. Bhagwan Rama is above all. He is the Raja of all. And how is Bhagwan Rama described? As a tapasvi, as an ascetic. When Bhagwan Rama left Ayodhya, he was given clothes made up of bark. And I don't think anyone's seen clothes made up of bark, but if you can think of khadi, really rough cloth. And when they were in the jungle, there was lots of trees, so they collected sap and they put it in their hair and tied it up like this, like a jata, because it keeps getting in your face, so tie it up. Dreadlocks are a copy of these jatas. So to have dreadlocks, you have to put special oils in your hair. Bhagwan Rama used sap. He was a tapasvi. Tinake kaja, and Bhagwan Rama's work, sakala tumasaja, all of it was done by Hanumanji. All sorts was done by Hanumanji. Let's look at this from a Puranic sense. The word Raja means the one with most responsibilities. The one with most responsibilities. We've associated the word Raja with king because back in the day, the king, the royal family, did have the most responsibilities. They didn't live selfishly, looking after themselves only. They truly looked after the kingdom. When we are introduced to Bhagwan Rama, he is the king of Ayodhya, or soon to be king of Ayodhya, of this particular kingdom. And he's happy with that future responsibility. Then one of his mothers, Mother Kaikeyi, says that your father wants Sri Bharata to be the king and wants you to go to the forest for 14 years. And when Bhagwan Rama was sharing this request to his mother, to his wife, and so on, he said to them that my father initially wanted me to be the Raja of Ayodhya, but now he wants me to be the Raja of the Aranya, of the forest. He wanted me to be the king of the subjects in Ayodhya. Now he wants me to be the king of all of the sadhus in the forest, all of the people seeking satsang in the forest. And someone had asked him, how long are you going for? And he said, I'm going for 7 years and then another 7 years. What a beautiful way to describe how forward-looking he is, how optimistic he is, that he knows he has to be there for 14 years, but he says, I'll go for 7 and another 7. Like extending a contract. The contract is so good that I want to extend it. So this is why Bhagavan Rama is the most responsible of Ayodhya, of the Aranya. In both places, though, it is Hanumanji who did his work. Hanumanji found Mother Sita. Hanumanji helped gather the monkeys to build that bridge. Hanumanji gave message that Bhagavan Rama is coming home. So Bhagavan Rama is the master delegator and Hanumanji is the master follower. So this chopai is highlighting Bhagavan Rama as a tapasvi, but the second line is more important, that all sorts of work was accomplished via Hanumanji. From a subjective standpoint. You've all heard of the gunas before. The gunas are qualities that the whole multiverse has. The chair I'm sitting on, the Wi-Fi connection. Right now the Wi-Fi connection is sattvic. When it's broken, it's rajasic. When it's slow, it's tamasic. When you don't need Wi-Fi because you're working with the cloud, that's gunatita, when you're beyond any physical infrastructure. Taking the gunas, or these qualities, to our vision and lifestyle, I'm going to give you a framework to think about. Tamas, or laziness, is when we're engaged in low thinking and low living. Low thinking, low living. So vision is low, lifestyle is low. Rajas, when one is aggressive, they're engaged in low thinking and high living. High living, they're driving high cars and living in high homes and holding high positions, but still low thinking. They're subjecting other people. Sattva, which is calmness. You have laziness, aggressiveness, calmness is high thinking. Low thinking, high thinking. And now you're all waiting for me to say simple living, but I'm actually not going to. When you have the vision of high thinking, your lifestyle doesn't matter. You can live simply, you can live in a highway, it doesn't matter. You can have the most expensive car in the parking lot and it won't matter to you at all. Or you can drive a Honda Civic like me, and that also won't matter to you at all. You will feel like this is a Bentley. So what this chopai is teaching us is to have that high thinking. High thinking is what makes one a tapasvi, makes one an ascetic. It is not a lifestyle. Ravana also dressed up as a tapasvi, correct? But was he a tapasvi? He wasn't. Making this even more close to us. The word tapa is introduced here. What is the opposite of tapa? Pata. Pata means to fall. You keep devolving, devolving, devolving in high living with low thinking. Tapa means to burn one's comfort zones. That is to go from low thinking to high thinking. A high thinking person doesn't depend on pleasure, possession, position. If it's there, fine. If it's not there, also fine. Bhagavan Rama was like that, no? And Hanumanji is doing his work. He's certainly like that. We should engage in tapa for dharma. Tapa means we should work the hardest for dharma is our responsibilities. If that means we're uncomfortable, if that means we have to sacrifice, it doesn't matter. Because the dharma, our responsibilities, will lead us to Brahma, that is Bhagavan Rama, or happiness. Tapa for dharma, for Brahma. That is work for responsibilities, for happiness. Hanumanji's work is what has facilitated happiness, facilitated Bhagwan Rama's being the Raja. Our sadhana for Chaupai 27 is simplify. Simplify. And I'll share more about this when we talk about our virtual question that was shared. Simplify. 28. Ora manoratha jo koi lave, soya mita jivana phala pave. Ora manoratha. And anyone's mindset, jo koi lave, and they come to Hanumanji, saha, to that person, amita jivana phala pave. Hanumanji gives them a long life and blesses them with what they want. This is all the literal meaning of Chaupai 28. We'll go to the Pauranic meaning. How did this Chaupai come to be? When the group of monkeys and beings that went south looking for Mother Sita, millions went north, millions went east and west, some went south. Included in that was Hanumanji. And Hanumanji came into a part of Bharat where he saw this cave where lots of birds were going in and out of this cave. And they were all looking for water and food. Naturally, where these birds are, there must be water and food. And this is a dark, immense cave. They're all thinking, we have to check it out. So they're all looking at Hanumanji, okay, you go. So Hanumanji does. He goes into that cave because he's thinking about all of the monkeys, the beings, their welfare. And while in this cave, he sees this beautiful woman who's engaged in disciplines and sadhana. And he comes to engage in a dialogue with her and realizes that this is Swayam Prabha. Swayam Prabha, there's a lot of story to this, but essentially, she was stuck in that cave until she was told that someone working for God, that is, a being that's going to be helping Bhagwan Rama, comes. Only then will she be allowed to be free of that cave. And Hanumanji, having the courage to go in there, freed her of that stuckness, being in that cave. And then they were deep in this cave. All of the monkeys had come, and it's dark. How did they get out? There's no trees in this cave. She was so happy by being freed by Hanumanji that she told all of them, you close your eyes and visualize where you want to be, and I will bring you there. So they all visualized going to the end of Bharat, which is Rameshwaram. And when they opened their eyes, they were at Rameshwaram. But then the ocean is in front of them, so they're stuck again. And then Angada was saying, if we go back to Sugriva, he's going to hurt us. And if we go towards the ocean, we're going to die. And he was lamenting. And who's hearing all of this? Sambati. Sambati is Jatayu's older brother. Lots and lots to share, but we have to keep studying. So Sambati is there, this giant vulture whose wings have been burned. And he's stuck in this southern part of India. And it's hard for him to get food. When he saw all of these monkeys being dejected, he thought, awesome. I didn't even have to go for food. Food came back to me. So you would have understood through our study of Hanuman Chalisa how important food is in Indian culture. Simika is looking for food. Jatayu is looking for food. The monkeys are looking for food. As Sambati is moving towards these monkeys, ready to eat them, the word Jatayu is said. How lucky Jatayu was that his funeral rites, his Antyeshti, was performed by Bhagwan Rama himself. And that is a really epic experience because Bhagwan Rama's father, Raja Dashratha, didn't have his funeral rites, his Antyeshti done by Bhagwan Rama. He was already gone. And Sambati had missed his brother so much. His brother went one way, he went one way. And when he had heard that his brother was given such a tribute from God himself, he had forgotten all about his hunger and his wings and became a friend of all of those monkeys. Swayamprabha wanted to be free. Hanumanji made her free. Sambati wanted to know about Jatayu. Hanumanji gave word about Jatayu. This is the Puranic meaning of this chopai, coming to the Adhyatmic meaning, the subjective meaning to all of this. God, scriptures, guide. In Sanskrit, Bhagwan, Shastra, Sadguru, all of them can be compared to a mirror. A mirror. If you go to God and beg for a promotion, God will help you with that promotion. If you study this Shastra to be a better engineer, then the Shastra will help you be a better engineer. If you go to one Sadguru and ask about how to bring more discipline into your family, then a Sadguru will answer that. A mirror. Whatever we come with will be reflected. And even in a worldly way, the more angry I am, the more angry you will get, correct? The more quietly I speak, the more close you will come to the camera, correct? We are a mirror to each other in that sense. In this chopai, what we are to internalize is pray for the presence of God, for the presence of Bhagwan. Because any prayer lower than that is a waste of God. Scripture guide. If we're not interacting with Bhagwan, Shastra, Sadguru for moksha, for freedom, then that is a waste. And there's a great narration of this from Srimad Bhagavatam. You have this young boy, Dhruva, who feels jealous that his brother gets to sit on the throne of the kingdom, but he does not. So what does he do? He starts to pray to Bhagwan, correct? And he's praying to Bhagwan for the position to sit on that throne too. And he's praying. Finally, Bhagwan Vishnu manifests in front of him and says, "What do you want? You've been calling me for so long. I'm here. What do you want?" And Dhruva says nothing. Totally silent. And Bhagwan says, "I've come so far. You have to ask me something." So Bhagwan takes his conch and touches him in the cheek. Almost like, wake up. And Dhruva goes on to praise Bhagwan Vishnu, still not asking for anything. And that is a beautiful depiction of how one's prayer evolves from position to peace. If he became the king of that kingdom, he would reach a point where he'll feel, now what? We've all experienced that, right? Now what? Now what? Now what? Imagine you're peaceful. Will you then say, now what? Peace is the completion of any prayer, any purpose. And I've shared this with you many times. I'll share again because it's just funny. I was in a setting with a large group of people. It was a Sunday morning class, and I asked everyone there, "Why do you come here?" And one high school student raised his hand. "To learn how to make money." I told him, "You coming here, you don't learn how to make money, you learn how to give money." But I inquired further. Why do you want to make money? Why do you want to learn how to make money? So he says, to do this. Why do you want to do this? To do this. Why do you want to do this? To do this. And he was going on and on and on. He was a smart kid until finally his Balavar teacher kind of shuffled back and hit him and said, just say happiness. Right, and then I'm not going to say, why do you want happiness? There's no why to happiness. That's what's most natural. Our prayers should be for the presence of God, because God is a mirror. Whatever you go with will be reflected. Our sadhana for 28 is inquire. Inquire. The more deeply you go into yourself, the more your prayers will evolve. If you think you're just the body, what are you going to pray for? Never to be hangry. If you believe you're the intellect, what will you pray for? For satsang. More insight into life. 29. Charo yuga paratapa tumara he parasiddha jagata ujiyara. Charo yuga, in the 4 periods of time, paratapa, brilliance, tomara, yours. Your brilliance pervades all 4 periods of time. He parasiddha jagata ujiyara, your siddha, parasiddha, your achievements, your accomplishments, your presence shines throughout the multiverse. Some of the Puranic meaning to this. This is a fun experience, how this Chopai came to be. Out of all of the Pandavas, who is the most romantic? You think that it's Prince Arjuna, and he was a romantic person, but it is Bhima. Bhima is the most romantic of the Pandavas, and he loved to address Mother Draupadi's heart through food. You don't win the heart of a man only through food, you win the heart of a human through food. So one day Draupadi was thinking about her childhood. She was a princess. She lived in a royal area and had beautiful gardens, and she was thinking of a Brahma Kamala, a unique lotus. And Bhima had overheard her talking about this. And he knew, they lived in the forest, he would have to travel so far to collect vegetables and different ingredients to cook while they were in the forest. So he knew where this Brahma Kamala is, so he started running. And he was a stout person, but a fast person too. Like a rhino, big but fast. And he's running for this Brahma Kamala. He wants to bring this to Draupadi. And as he's running, he sees this long, hairy rod on his path. And so he has to slow down, and he realizes that this rod is actually a tail because it's growing and shrinking with breathing. And he follows this tail to this old monkey that's sleeping in a tree. And he, out of respect, tells this old monkey, I'm trying to cross this path and I don't want to disrupt your sleep or your tail. Can you move your tail for me? And this old monkey says, brother, I'm an old monkey. You are a strong rhino. You can move this tail yourself. And Bhima says, okay. So he bends down to put his fingertips underneath this tail to move it, but he can't even put the top of his fingernail underneath that tail, that it's infinitely heavy. And he's trying until he's completely exhausted and falls down on that tail. And then that tail moves. And he goes and prostrates to this old monkey and says, brother, who are you? And this monkey says, I already told you, brother, who I am. I am your brother. That I am Hanumanji. This was in the Dwapar Yuga, correct? During the Mahabharata. And what we're essentially studying is the Treta Yuga, which came before the Dwapara Yuga during the Ramayana period. Hanumanji is Chiranjeevi. Chiranjeevi means Hanumanji is forever. And we study many chopais where wherever Bhagwan Rama's katha is going on, Hanumanji is present. In the earliest period to the latest period, there was wind in all of those periods, correct? But there was no wind 500 years ago. It was born 500 years ago. Just like the wind is forever, the presence of Hanumanji is forever in all periods of time. And Jagata doesn't just mean this world or universe, it means all planes. Hanumanji shines there. Now we go to the subjective meaning, and this is quite deep, so please try to tune into this. Tell me, what has existed in all periods of time, and what has existed in all planes of existence? So all space, all time, all matter. America. Humans. Energy. What has existed in all space, time, and matter is existence, no? Energy depends on existence. Existence does not depend on energy. What has existed in all space, time, and matter is awareness. How would one know space, time, and matter if awareness wasn't there? Before any experience, awareness is there, correct? Existence awareness, that is who Hanumanji is. And if we're studying human to Hanuman, that's who we are also. Sat Chit. And when you know that, there is Ananda, or joy. We have many, many, many prayers that teach us who we are fundamentally, like Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam, and on and on and on, which says that the light of awareness comes first, then the light of the sun and moon and stars and lightning and fire in my hand. It's a deep prayer. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says, I am not in them, they are in me. I do not depend on them, articles, beings, circumstances. They depend on me, which is existence, awareness, joy. This is what our nature is. And the more we know our fundamental nature, who we are, the better we become functionally then. When you're in a play and you know that this is a play, you play your best. When you're in a play, but you forgot that this is a play. And that's a pretty useless example because I don't think we get into that too much. But imagine you lose a movie may be better. For whatever reason, you forget that you're watching a movie. Then as people are dying, you're crying. Have you ever watched a horror movie objectively? It's a comedy. But if you don't watch that horror movie objectively, it's a horror. And you can't sleep at night. It's just a movie, though. When you know it, it becomes so enjoyable. In Sanskrit, we call this avatishtati. It's when you're centered in your fundamental self, which allows you to play as a functional being. Then know your existence, awareness, joy, and then play with a particular form and name you have. The sadhana here is utilize. Utilize. Utilize your nature. Utilize expressing your nature. Utilize existence awareness by being that and then sharing the same with others. Utilize. Study one more chopai. Sadhu santa ke tum rakhavare asurani kandana rama dulare. Sadhus, people who study the scriptures. Santa, people who help others. Ke tuma rakhavare, you are their protector. Asura, those people who are demons, those who have darkness inside, nikandana, people you don't want close, ramadulare, you protect those who are good from those who are bad, and this is why you are dear to Bhagwan Rama. The Puranic meaning. When Hanumanji was burning Lanka, he made his body so big but so light, and he made his tail so long that he was jumping from building to building to building. His tail was touching every building. And he was jumping on top of these buildings. And because he was light, he wasn't collapsing them. He was letting them burn so more can burn them. See, there's a lot of science to that. In a forest fire, how do they control that? They start cutting down trees so it can't grow. They're collapsing those trees. Hanumanji never let those buildings collapse so more can burn. And all of Lanka was burned other than Vibhishana's mandir. That was not burnt. And if you want to take this more deeply, when Hanumanji meets Vibhishana for the first time, he is very proud of Vibhishana, but he also chides Vibhishana that you keep remembering Bhagwan Rama, but how come you're not helping him? Mother Sita's living where you are. Have you gone to her? Have you tried to protect her? Hanumanji's saying that I remember Bhagwan Rama too, but here I am in Lanka. I don't live in Lanka, you do. So you see in this, Sadhu Santake Tuma Rakavare Asura Nikandar. Hanumanji protected Vibhishana from the Asuras, the Nikandanas, but more so, he protected Vibhishana from complacency. That I'm just going to remember God but not follow God. For us, we'll make this subjective. Many of us have a Shastra Vasana, isn't it? We love to study and study and study, but we don't practice what we're studying. We have to be protected from such complacency. You can't just remember the divine, you have to follow the divine then. I had heard a quote that said, if exercise came in a bottle, it would be the most widely prescribed prescription. Good, no? Now are you going to exercise tomorrow? No? See, we know that, but are we going to follow that? Me knowing I should exercise is not going to make me healthy. I actually have to exercise. Rama Dulare. Why is he so dear to Bhagwan Rama? Let's go to Bhagwan Krishna. Why was Bhagwan Krishna manifested? Don't we say, he came to protect the dharmic, to correct the adharmic, and to bring balance. That's what this chopa is also sharing, that we should be avatars. If Bhagwan Rama and Bhagwan Krishna came to do this work, we also have come to do this work. If we are sadhus, then we should live like sadhus and encourage other people to be noble. And if we are the asuras and nikandanas, then we should stop being asuras and nikandanas and encourage other people not to be like that. Then we will be dear to Bhagwan Rama. A great Shastra to really know this chopai is to study Srimad Bhagavatam. So your reflection adventure of the day is to study all 18,000 verses to really understand this one verse. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Vedavyasa shares there is one avatara, and that is Bhagwan Krishna. But then he says there's actually two avatars. It is Bhagwan Rama Krishna. But then he says there's Dasha Avatara, correct? All of our dancers, we love the Dasha Avatara. It's the best content for any classical dancing. But then Bhagavatam goes on to say there's actually 24 avatars, like Kapila Muni, and on and on and on. But throughout Srimad Bhagavatam, and particularly at the end, Vedavyasa says there are infinite avatars. And if you've studied Bhagavatam and are following it, you will know you too are an avatara. Let go of the demons inside. Go deeper and hold on to the sadhus and santas. This makes us dear to God, which really means this makes us close to God, which really means we are God. And so, your sadhana for 30 is include. Include. One who is mean is exclusive. One who is noble is inclusive. And we shall continue not to just chant Hanuman Chalisa, but to study. We are making this simple. We are making this rememberable. We are making this practical. Narayana.